This week, I'm getting things ready for my big trip. Hey, I'm Cory. A little over a year ago, I bought my van, started the build process on it, and have taken it on a few trips across the US and a little bit into Canada.
Well, I'm finally in Canada.
Soon, things are going to be changing drastically because at the end of December, I'm heading out on the biggest trip I have ever been on in my life. However, before I leave, there are a few things I need to take care of. A big gust of wind came through and blew the solar panels off of my roof. The first thing that I'm going to do is get this fairing piece attached to the front of the crossbar to kind of help deflect the wind up and over the solar panels up here. It looks pretty easy to install. I've just got to rest it up here on the roof of my van and then go in and attach these to the crossbar. So I have the fairing piece up there now. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to do, but I guess I'll find out when I test it all out. Okay, now the next thing that I need to get taken care of is another thing associated with my solar panels. A little over a month ago, I had my solar panels laying up on my roof charging my battery, and a big gust of wind came through and blew the solar panels off of my roof. Luckily, it didn't break the panels. However, one of the connectors broke. So I have this connector repair kit here that hopefully will make it a little bit easier on replacing this. The positive line is the one that broke. So I'm going to go ahead and get this fixed real quick and make sure everything works. There, now let's see if it works. Okay, the sun's going down, so I don't have much coming in, but it looks like it is working. I've got 0.27 amps coming into it right now. But at least it's working. Good morning, everybody. Today I'm heading back up to Missouri. Dakota and Courtney are going to help me again with my cabinets. Today we're going to be working on the cabinet doors, and we're not going to be able to get them 100% complete because I've still got some hinges coming in. And I've got to get them painted and all that. However, we'll be able to get the majority of them done, and then I can get the rest of it taken care of later. I'm very excited to see how the cabinets are going to look with doors on them. So I've got about a 2-hour drive, so let's head to Missouri. Oh, and another thing that I forgot to mention is this is going to be the test to see how my solar panels do on my roof. So I drove a little bit last night. I got up to about 60 miles an hour and I didn't hear any wind noise, nothing. So at 60 miles an hour, they did great. But I'm getting on the turnpike today, which is, I believe, up to 75 miles an hour. Hopefully they stay put and don't go flying down the turnpike. That would be awful. Alright, I made it back home and check it out. We got my cabinet doors built today. I am very happy with how these turned out. Obviously, I'm not finished with them. I'm still waiting on the hinges to come in, and I obviously need to paint them and everything, but the hard part is complete. We got everything measured out, cut out, and put together. So now all I have to do is get them painted, and then once the hinges come in, I can get them installed up on my cabinets. I am going to have to take the trim piece off of the top of the cabinets. We were looking at it when I got up there and that trim piece is just not going to work. So I'll have to figure something else out with that. But other than that, these went smoothly. This trip to Missouri was a lot better than the first trip. The first trip, it was cold and raining and Dakota and I were miserable. But this time, everything worked out perfectly. Dakota, thank you once again for all your help on these. I would not have been able to get these done without your help, so I truly appreciate it. It's getting kind of late in the day now, so I think I'm going to call it for the day and pick you guys back up tomorrow. I've got a couple more things that I want to get taken care of this week. Okay, so first of all, I'm sorry about the sun glare. It's very bright out here right now. But the next thing that I need to work on this week is my water pump. So let me take you around there real quick and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So my water pump is not working at the moment. It turns on like it's working, however it's not pulling any water from my water tank. I did a little bit of research on it and saw that if you dry the pump out it can cause this issue, and coincidentally I drained my water tank the other day and everything was working fine, and then a few days later I went in and filled everything back up and went to use the pump and it's not working. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the hose off of the top of it and pour some water down in it, and hopefully that fixes this issue. So we'll see. I also cleaned out this sediment filter the other day, hoping that would take care of the issue, and it did not. So the sediment filter is fine. Try and see if that'll work. Okay. Now, perfect. Okay, that was a very easy fix. I kind of cannot believe how easy that was. Okay, so if you have this particular pump, and I'll link it down in the description below so you all know which pump I have. If you have this particular one, if you drain your water tank all the way and the pump is dry for a day or two, and you have this issue where the pump kicks on but it's not pulling any water out, take the inlet hose off, pour some water down in it, and hook everything back up, and it should fix it. That's what happened with me. I'm very shocked that this was so easy to fix. I just knew I was gonna have to buy a new pump. So now that I have that taken care of, there's one more thing in the back of my van I want to work on since I have the time now. So I think I mentioned in my last video that my battery, I got an alert on my app that my battery was too cold to be charging, and I realized that I had the battery sitting on the bare floor. I went and got a towel and put it on top of a towel to kind of help with that. But I think what I want to do is pull this battery out and kind of lift it up a little bit so that it's not sitting on the cold floor of the van. And I think that will help with this particular issue of the battery getting too cold. Okay, those clips were probably a little hard to see, but I got everything hooked back up, and now I have a little bit of a gap between the floor of the van and the battery, so the battery's not sitting directly on the floor. I also have some leftover insulation from whenever I did my walls and my ceiling, so I may stick some of that up in there just to insulate it just a little bit. Alright, I think that's where I'm going to end it this week. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I am very happy that I got everything accomplished that I wanted to this week, and everything went pretty smoothly. I didn't have very many problems at all, so I'm very happy with how this week went. The time I have before my big trip is getting smaller and smaller, so I really need to buckle down and get all these things done before I leave on the 28th. Oh, good. That was my brother. He will kill me if I put that in this video. I may just have to do it. Now, one more thing I wanted to mention before I end this video is this thing right behind me. Check it out. There it goes. So my cousin, her and a friend of hers started their own business making car fresheners, and they can make custom ones now. And she made me a Cory's VanLife air freshener for my van. It's awesome. And the scent, I believe it's called mahogany teakwood. It smells really good, and it makes my van smell really good as well. I will put a link down in the description below if you all want to check their business out and get you a car freshener for your vehicle. But anyway, thank you all once again for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please consider hitting the subscribe button, and I will see you next Thursday.